A stop sign. A lot of people, it's a waste of time. Some people, it believes it doesn't pertain to them. In this little short video, I'm going to show you the production of making a stop sign. I have a road out here, Withers Avenue at Cuttings Wharf. Show a little picture on Google Maps. The stop sign's leaning a little bit. It doesn't meet its nighttime reflectivity checks that we've done, so it has to be replaced. What it's going to do, it's going to start out on my computer. I use an Omega 5 software program for making signs. And that's what the stop sign is going to look like. It's a 30-inch stop sign. Toggle it in for the color. I get all the specs out of the MUTCD manual. Shows the various specs for different size stop signs. This is going to be a 30-inch stop sign. It shows me all the specs, the type of letters I'm supposed to use, the borders around it. Here's all the dimensions. It has to meet the exact specs. You can't deviate from it. So my plotter, I plot it out on my software. I'm going to send it off to the cutter. Here's the program to cut it. And it's going to go to my Gerber 5800 42-inch cutter. And what it's going to do, it's going to send the specs to the cutter, and it's going to cut out the stop sign on this red transparent EC film. They call it Electrocut film. And now the plotter it's doing, it's cutting out the dimensions of the stop sign exactly how I've laid it out on the computer. All stop signs in the United States all meet the same specs. That way they're all red, the white black background. You don't see blue ones, green ones, yellow ones, or whatever. And it's the only sign that is in the octagon shape with 8 sides, so you can tell from behind what it is, so you don't see square stop signs or anything like that. The only sign in the state of California that you'll see with the octagon shape. So once my plotter is done cutting it out, it's going to come over to my table and I'm going to weed out the film. Here's what it looks like when it's been cut out. It's a transparent film on top of a plastic overlay. Now the cutter only cuts the top portion. So here's, I'm going to lift this little piece off that I left on here. I weeded most of the border around. You can see the octagon. See how it's transparent? You can see through it. So once the white reflective sheeting is put on the metal sign blank, you'll be able to see through it. What it's done, it's already cut out all the letters. So they'll just lift out easy. Excuse me while I let go of that. So we'll have all the other letters that'll just basically just lift right out. And one more letter, the P. Like I said, it's a transparent film that you'll be able to see through it. And what it's done, the cutter has cut the top portion of the Electrocut film, and it's left the plastic backing behind. It hasn't cut through it at all. It's just enough to cut the, like I said, the Electrocut film. And then what I'll do is I'll have to throw a transfer tape over it, and I'll show you how that's done. Alright, I'm going to get ready now to put a piece of transfer tape over the top of it so I can transfer it onto the metal blank. I've made this dispenser. It's really easy. One person can use it. Usually it's really hard to handle if you try to handle it by itself. What I'm going to do is just lay a piece of transfer tape over the top of it. I'm going to squeegee out all of the air bubbles that'll be trapped in there or anything. I'm going to get a nice smooth surface, so when I transfer it, it's not going to transfer onto the pattern any wrinkles, marks, or anything like that. Then what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and trim up all this area, so when I'm done, I'll have something that looks like this. So now it'll be easy to transfer over to the metal blank that I'm going to use. I'll show you how to do that in a second. All right, now what I have here is my aluminum sign blank. It's a 30-inch octagon shaped. It's already got the holes pre-cut for installation of onto the support. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim off a piece of DG3, it's called. It's a diamond grade material from 3M. It's exclusively all we use at the county for our traffic signs. It gives you the best reflectivity that you can buy on the market today, and we feel it just makes it safer for our motorists out there. Pull that off of a roller of diamond grade, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this up a little bit, and then I'll show you how I overlay the metal sign blank. Alright, I've trimmed up my piece of reflective sheeting in the shape of an octagon. What I'm going to do now, it has a plastic backing on the back. I'm going to peel that off a little bit. And I'll lay my metal sign blank on it, making sure that I completely cover the sign. Then I'm going to put it in the roller, and I'm going to adhere the whole sheet to the aluminum sheet. Has a plastic backing on the back. I'll just roll it on, and then I'll have to trim it up. Alright, what I've done is I've taken my razor knife and I'm going to trim around the edges to make sure that I have a nice, sharp, clean edges on the side. There we go. I have a 30-inch octagon-shaped stop sign. Next phase is going to be to overlay the red over the top of it, and I'll show you that. All right, the next phase I'm going to throw the apply the overlay to it. What I've done is I've made some 3/4 inch marks, because the sign calls on a 30-inch, a 3/4 inch border all the way around. These are just reference points, so I can easily line up the red EC film on it. Keeping my marks on both sides. So now it gives me 3/4 inch all the way around. Go ahead and I'm going to slide it into my roller. And what I was telling you earlier, the EC film just cuts through, the cutter just cuts through the top of the EC. And by applying the tape over the top, I'll be able to transfer it over easily. I'm going to remove those reference marks because I don't want them to show through. The black marks to show through on the stop sign. My roller is going to hold it in place. So now all I do is I just peel off the backing. Trim it up a little bit here. And I'm just going to tuck it underneath. A lot of people will use what they call a rapid tack and put it on and squeegee out all the water. I just prefer to do mine without any of that. Just roll on easily, or for me anyways. And what I'll do is I'll peel off the other part. Roll it a couple times to make sure I get a good contact. And then what I'll do is I'll just peel off my transfer tape. And there we have it. Brand new stop sign with that diamond grade coating. Should last anywhere, depending on which facing it's facing. If it faces south all the time towards the sun, it could last anywhere from 10 to 15 years before we have to replace it again. So there's the production of stop signs in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.